I could see it in the frame. Now I can only see the top. And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with Sean Gervais from OrbisX CRM and Marshall Hill from Pints and Polishing Podcast, as well as Hyper Clean Car Care Products. You know it. See, I'm working on my intros. How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Nice, huh? Yeah. I got my 7 and 7. What are you sipping on?
Oh, just the
The same one?
from last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good though. It's a staple.
It's getting warm. It's getting warm.
See?
I'm not getting laughed at in the Jeep anymore. It's getting warm. All right. So it was like, I'm ready for some sunbrew.
Man. Yeah. I was thinking about you the other day actually. So a buddy of mine, he's a huge Jeep guy, big time. Like he's had I think like 6 of them since the time I've known him. He's never going to any other brand. He just loves Jeep, and he's part of all the communities, everything, like you name it. Yeah, of course, right? But excuse me, the other day we had one day where it was like really warm, and then the next day was snowing for some reason. But he said the day he was driving, it started to snow a little bit in his area, and he was telling me about this, but he had already taken the doors off from the day before. And I thought about you, and then he tells me, he says, and I lost a flip-flop. I was like, what the fuck were you? You saw the weather. What were you doing wearing a flip-flop? But anyway.
What were you doing with your foot out the door? How do you lose a flip-flop?
Very good point, actually. So yeah, he's an interesting. That's an interesting story, actually, that I've ever seen. He's kind of a similar background in a way. He used to be a pastor, so came up very much in the church, everything like that. Translated over into business, and a lot of the community came with him, of course, which was good. But also a lot of the I want to say beliefs, but that's not the right word I'm looking for. But like a lot of the fundamentals, like he applied them to his business, and more importantly, the relationships that he had in business, and he did really, really, really well until there was a period of time where it was almost like 6 or 7 years after his exit from the church, and then things kind of started to plateau. He started to kind of get depressed. It started to show in his work. Business started to not do so great. And then he went back to the church. He kind of, reinvigorated himself, got more in touch with his fundamentals, and now he's launched another business and is doing incredibly well. And I was like, I wonder if there's a thing there where like he distanced himself from the church, and then, I don't know.
I think it's got to be what we talked about. I know people haven't listened to it or read it, but it's that book, Spiritual Brain. I was talking to I got a buddy this weekend that I saw this weekend, and I was talking to him about it because they go, hey, you listened to anything good lately, right? Like something you say to friends. Well, actually, let me tell you about it and he's the guy, and he goes, well, that's very interesting coming from. He knows me from my ultra religious days. I at one time remember in high school praying, putting my hands on him, and praying for him. He was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
That didn't work. Another man.
That's that moment. Eh? It's like where a magician doesn't nail it, and it's like, oh shit, hold on, let me try again. All right, is this your card? Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm very interested then, like knowing who I was before, and I haven't done some like. I know some people go out and they get into this rebellious state, and I'm not saying tattoos, don't get me wrong, right? But like, I might put a bunch of tattoos on me, right? Or I might ultimately change my clothing style to this alternative lifestyle, right? Like, I didn't do that. So I go back, and which I said to him, which what I talked to you a little bit about is like, I really think there's some basis to having steady things that you ritually do. Yeah. So I talked to him about, about the rituals and about, I've now started to go back and say the Lord's Prayer multiple times a day. Something about reciting things over and over, it changes the way you mentally work on a part of your brain, and there is brain elasticity. You can grow different parts of your brain.
Yeah.
When you do certain ritualistic activities. Speaking in tongues is different than the nuns citing the Lord's Prayer. Mm-hmm. They work two different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
And so that's the point, right? Like whatever religion or religiosity or whatever, I think there's a definite viable part in which I told them, I go, I think there's a lot of why I was, some early success in my life had to do with religion.
Yeah.
At that point, I believed it was this transcendence of favor or blessings or whatever anybody wants to call it, right? Like you can fill in the blank. I considered it that too. Well, but if I changed, where I worshipped versus how I performed my life, But yet things continue to happen if you do ritualistic things and you're very disciplined, right? Well, religious people have to be extremely disciplined. Yeah. We have to be the ones to go into your own mind to believe in something different and go, yeah, I believe in that so wholeheartedly. I will sacrifice desires. I'll sacrifice fill in the blank because I believe in this.
Yeah.
Well, that takes extreme discipline if you actually
100%.
Do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, and so then you become that person. It's for me. It's like I always go back to when I talk to people in the same kind of context, and they say, "Well, I'm not very religious," and I say, "Okay, well, I always go to the Olympics or some sort of sport." And because the Olympics is the big one, because the training for the Olympics is intense. Training for sports as well, don't get me wrong, but the Olympics is on a whole nother level. But if they're not into the Olympics, I say, okay, well, what about sports? What's your favorite team? What's the favorite genre of sports? Oh, well, I'm really into basketball. Okay, great. Well, who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite team? Whatever. The amount of work that these people have to go through, like we're seeing the final product, but it's the discipline. Like how many times their friends wanted to go party, they had to say no. How many times they, saw a girl they thought was cute and they were like, nope, distraction. It's all of those sacrifices that they give up a lot in order to reach that pinnacle, and it's the same thing in business. That's what we have to do a lot as well. Something has to sacrifice. You're going to have to spend time on the business, working the business, especially in the early days where you might not have full staff and things like that. You're going to be everything. You're the marketing department, the HR, you're every department that is out there. It's you, and so you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of stuff. And that's where, for me, always finding like the right partner in life was really important, because I know to some people marriage is like whatever, but for me it was, there's things that come with the right partner that make life just easier, and so and it gives you the encouragement when you're feeling down, like all kinds of stuff. Like there's a lot of things there, but I think that's something a lot of people lack in life is something that they're willing to be disciplined to work towards. But then also recognizing that I have to make a sacrifice, and then they don't put enough weight on that. That's what it is. And so when they're in a relationship with the wrong person. So it's like, I can't. My business would grow, but I got my kids. Like I got to do this and that for my kids, or I got to do this and that for my wife or my girlfriend or whatever. And it's like, have you talked to them about it? Like maybe what about to get to here I got to do X, Y, Z. And I think the fear with a lot of people, Marshall, is that to get to a certain destination, we all have an idea kind of where you want to go, but to get there, we haven't really thought about what do I really have to give up, and how concrete is that deadline? Because there's a lot of people that say, oh, I'm going to make it, I'm going to be like this and that, whatever, I'm going to be super famous, I'm going to make a ton of money, and so they just kind of meander along, they're not following any kind of plan, they're not really sacrificing in the right way, and so they're just kind of like swinging a hammer every day, hoping that it hits the nail. And so obviously the people in their life look at it and they're like, geez, man, this guy's never going to really do shit because he's not disciplined and he's not sacrificing things in the right way. It's like, well, how are you ever going to reach that goal if you're not willing to give up, going partying? How are you going to have the six-pack abs if you keep, stuffing cheesecake in your mouth? Like you got to have some sort of sacrifice and discipline to get there, I think. But
so put it into detailer's world, right? There's got to be sacrifices. There's got to be discipline.
Absolutely.
Right?
One of the big ones that jumps out to me is when I hear people scoff at certain work. That's something that always irked me, is that I hate hearing in the same breath, I'm slow right now, but I don't want to do interiors. I'm slow right now, but I don't mess with pet hair. I'm slow right now, but I only want to work on Lambos. I'm slow right now, but I really want to do only PPF.
I'm slow right now, but I've done Facebook marketing.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. You know what? I got to jump into something real quick, actually. I got a message from someone, and he's a great guy. He's a listener, great member. He's done well in a lot of aspects. But recently, he slowed down, and he told me the same things that we hear from everybody. Oh, it's the season, the economy. I even heard it was possibly the war in Iran. But anyway, there were a bunch of reasons why things have slowed down for this individual. And if you're listening, just know I say this with the utmost respect. But I said, well, your problem's actually really simple. What are you doing for marketing right now? Because it was, oh, well, I think I need to revamp my booking form and this and that. I said, no. What are you doing for marketing right now? Because that's where it all starts. All the other stuff, consider those refinements. That's how you make things more streamlined, efficient. You improve your conversion ratios. But at the end of the day, if you go out and you catch one fish and you're like, it didn't taste that great. I think I'm just going to stop eating fish. It's like, well, how many fish did you catch? Oh, you only caught the one? Well, so if you only caught the one or you caught the two and they both tasted like shit, well, maybe there's like 50 other fish in there that taste amazing. You got to catch more fish. And so I said, listen, it all comes back to your marketing. And for me, it's like a 3-step process, okay? It's do more, do better, or do new. That's it. So you're either doing more of what you're currently doing. So it's like, okay, we have some ads running, but we're not really, I do some ads, but it's not doing too great. Well, do more advertising. It's that simple. Oh, okay, well, we can't really do more advertising because we're already doing so many things. Okay, so do better. Do better advertising. And so, okay, well, we fix that up, so we do better advertising, but, it's not really going to change things. We tried this, we tried that. Okay, so then do something new. So now you got to try something completely different. And so when I was talking with this guy, Manuel, I was talking with him, and I said, listen, so you're doing some advertising. Oh, yeah, I tried Facebook ads, I tried Google ads, tried SEO, all that kind of stuff. I said, okay, that's great. So you tried the obvious ones, the ones that the marketing agencies tell you have to be on top of because they're trying to sell you a service. What about the other stuff? I said, what are you doing in the community? Like, are you in any groups? Do you have hobbies? Are you doing this and that? And I said, when's the last time you talked to a dealership? Because I know a lot of detailers hate dealerships. They all have this idea. They've either never tried it, they have a bad idea in their head because of other detailers, or they've tried it, and because they went to like 2 dealerships and they said like, nah, we're good, we don't want to work with you or whatever, they just gave up. So I said, listen, go back to all those dealerships, talk to them. He said, yeah, but a lot of them, they already have their own, like, people that are doing detailing, like they have their own bays. And I said, listen, bro, they may have their own bays.
Always an excuse for something, huh?
There's always something. Yeah, I was like, fuck, man, where does it start and stop? Like, listen, all the dealerships here in my city have their own bays. Well, not all, but a lot of them have their own bays. But they don't have their own detailers. They subcontract out because that's not the business they're in. No. It's not. So most of them, and Marshall, you came from, like, you understand the dealership world very well. Most of them complain about something. They have gripes about something. Most times it's 10 somethings. But there's problems they're having with their current contractors that they're working with because they're not their own they're not their own detailers. They're not. Okay? They subcontracted out. That's a fact. You talk to them, you figure out what their gripes are, and you solve those problems. Just like how when you talk to a customer, you have to convince them of the value you're going to bring, the end result. You're doing the same thing with the dealership. You're just changing what the value is. So figure that out. Well, how do I figure that out? Oh, fuck, I don't know, man. I mean, I only spent like 1,000 hours, working on Luna, putting a button for you to click so you can just have a conversation. Like, that's a good place to start, but messaging me and being like, hey, what should I do? And then when I tell you what you should do, and then you're like, wow, I tried that though. That doesn't work. In 2026, that doesn't work. I'm like, guys, the same shit that was working 10 years ago works today too. And oftentimes, in my opinion, it works even better because a lot of the same stuff that I was doing 10 years ago in business is working better now because a lot of people are now fighting for SEO positions. They're, trying this and that on Facebook ads and stuff. But at the end of the day, a lot of the guerrilla marketing stuff that we do, boots on ground, getting involved in the community, talking with partners, talking to dealerships, all this stuff, it is so effective fostering those relationships. So that stuff still works. So like one thing, like we have a deal with a lot of the fire truck stations that are around our place, and that's because a lot of people don't want to tackle those trucks because they don't even think about it. But for us, it was like, yo, these trucks still need to get cleaned. Oftentimes the firefighters have to clean it, and so our pitch is simple. Wouldn't you like a day off? You don't have to do it. It's really simple. They're very approachable, and on top of that, you offer. They always have these things. They have like these like family picnic type things, or like barbecues and stuff like that. Get the families together. They do this shit all the time. Like I think they have like 4 or 5 of them a year. It's crazy. So we go down, and most of them are in like a baseball league for some reason. I don't know why that's a thing, but so anyway, we go down, we talk to them, and we're like, hey, listen, when you guys have your next barbecue thing, we'll come down. We don't do mobile service, but for you guys, we'll come down. We'll take care of your spouse's vans or whatever it is they're driving. They pull up. So they're having their barbecue. We got some guys out there cleaning some vans, everything like that. These guys are so happy with us. Every person that they talk to, they're like, oh, yeah, my car's looking good. Yeah, it's because of Auto World. It's not. Everybody loves firefighters for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're heroes. They save the day. Who knows? There's a million things like this you can do and you can set up, but you got to get up off the couch. You got to go do something, And so I was looking at an individual recently, talking to me, the same guy I mentioned, talking to me for like 2-3 hours. And I'm like, fuck, in those 2-3 hours, man, you could have got so much more accomplished by just putting a plan in action. And that's what I feel is the biggest downfall right now is people aren't doing stuff. They're saying everything doesn't work. They're not trying.
How do we get 2 or 3 hours with Shawn? That's awesome.
It wasn't a full 2 or 3 hours. It was over 2 or 3 hours. I was doing my workout. We were messaging back and forth. I got to be clear on that because I don't want people thinking they have access to get 2-3 hours of Shawn. That's not going to happen. My kids are fighting for that attention. But and they'll win every time. Got to let you know.
Oh, we can all just have a moment to look around whether, we want to talk about global economics and stuff that's happening. We want to just look around and look in our area. Okay, I think when I look around in our area and I just pull up social media and I see the amount of Facebook detailers that are marketing to Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? I can know that something's turning in the system, right? Like
you can see it. Remember the wave I was talking about? Mm-hmm. You can see it happening. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's clear as day. Yeah, you can see it.
Agreed. Yeah. I sent you one, right? Yeah. I sent you a marketing piece, and this is why I thought it'd be good to go over.
Yeah.
Right, here it is. This is a Tulsa-based company because I know from talking to other people that listen that they question, should I be marketing on Facebook? Right? Should I? And then there's others that go, and you go into the Facebook groups, and they just want to tell you about all the Facebook marketing they do. Okay, call it Instagram, whatever, okay? But I think a majority of us do marketing on Facebook. Seems to be, the average detailer that's going to say they market on social is putting down money on Facebook. So if you're going to put down money in this time, how should you do it? What should you do? Right? Like, this is marketing, right? And in this, like we talked about last time, this is wartime. It's going to come down to these kids, 2 kids, sitting on the back of their truck, holding a polisher.
You know what's so funny to me? Their poses take me out. When you first sent that to me, I was like, Jesus, man. Like, just the poses. Like, one guy the guy standing up, looks like almost like scared and nervous to even be outside. Mm-hmm. And the other guy looks way too fucking comfortable.
So happy to be there. Like, he's so happy to take a picture of himself.
Yeah, it was the first thing I saw. I was like, Jesus, man. Yeah. And the other thing that drove me nuts, I see a big comparison between the detailing industry and the lawn care industry. Is that for some reason, we don't like to show the process in a lot of still ads. I'll say still ads. Because when it's video, it's a little different. But still ads, like, What's why are these guys just sitting on the back of a vehicle?
What makes
Doing
you want
fuck
to
all.
buy something that is selling? I think is the better question of what you're saying, right? Like landscape,
Yeah.
they would put flowers, right? They would
Yeah,
would show a
exactly.
beautiful
You
house.
see
They
the
would,
end result. You see something like
you see
you know what?
something.
Here's a good exercise. Actually, this is something that I used to do with clients when I was fully running creative designs. Is I would say because they would come to us and say, yeah, we want to do some new ads. Our current ads aren't working, and we would always ask the first question, well, why aren't your current ads working? I'm not really sure. I think it's the market. I think it's this. And it was a bunch of other stuff. So I said, okay, show me your ads. And what we used to do is if they had imagery like that, we would cover up the text and we would say, okay, if you were to see just this image, I want you to tell me what industry and what product or service are they selling. And if you can't answer that without words, you have the wrong imagery. That's number one. So yeah, if you cover that up and you just see these two kids there, I don't know, are you selling vape pens? Like, fuck, I have no idea. Like, you could be anything. I don't know. Is this a poster for, like, you know, a Big Brother program or fucking summer school? I have no idea what's going on in that photo. So it's a really good exercise. If you do that with your own ads, cover up parts of it and say, what is this selling to me? What is it telling me? Because oftentimes we look at the final thing and we say, oh, well, I have the text there and the phone number there. Guess what? You designed it. You know what's there. When someone sees your ads, they're going to see whatever jumps out at them right away, and they're going to ignore the rest most times. The first thing they see is what they focus on. So why not make that exactly what you're trying to sell them? And so if you cover up parts of that ad, because you could do the opposite, cover up the photo of them, and all you see is mobile detailing all over Tulsa. Like, okay.
So let's start there.
All right.
Mobile detailing all over Tulsa.
All right.
Because I know every listener's going, what do I say? What do I say in these ads? It is hard to just come out and tell you what to say without you actually paying me. So
And we've already said the rate.
I have a real hard time just telling you the answers without a little coin coming back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
If some of you want to go and do some of that, feel free. But for me, given that this is a free podcast, we're going to go over things you shouldn't say.
Yeah, there we go. And then you have to pay for the other.
First things you should not say, Shawn. If you are wanting very specific customers, would you tell them, hey, I want to come to specific areas that you're in? Or do you want any person that wants to spend money and you'll travel all over the entire city wherever anybody will spend money with you? Which would you prefer?
In my ads, it would be different than how I would structure the logistics of the business. So the reason I word it like that is because I would have structured my ads on the
I'll
back
answer
end.
for you. You don't want people in North Tulsa.
Okay.
There's a large percentage of customers in East Tulsa you would not want either. I think we can get my point.
Yeah.
You're
all
not
right,
going to
fair.
travel around. It doesn't matter logistics.
Well, here's the thing, though.
You're not going to the projects to clean cars.
Fair. Yeah. Very good point. And so here's my point there to elaborate on that. I would have changed it on the back end so that my ads were only shown in a certain area, and I wouldn't have even included all over Tulsa at all.
And you wouldn't have said all over Tulsa.
Not at all.
There you go.
It's a waste
Thank
of words, and they made it so.
You tried
big.
to come up with your Shawn-esque. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. You ain't traveling all over, so you're going to put your marketing into specific places.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, of course. And
there
then
you go.
If you do want to go to other places, because maybe you find a niche in a certain area, that's cool. Run your ads there, but you still don't have to mention the place because you're targeting the people that live there.
And the people that you really want don't want people traveling and cleaning. Listen, you get into some of these customers. They don't want the vacuum that was
That was
used in somebody's house
Yeah.
used in theirs. So they will have their own vacuum to make sure that the vacuum and everything is done there. It doesn't ever bring in anything.
It's true. I've mentioned this before. We have a guy that comes to us every Friday, and he has a McLaren. He brings it to us, and he also he's got a Honda Civic as well. It's kind of a like two different worlds, but he brings both in, and so he brings one Friday, one Saturday. That guy, we open a brand new microfiber pack in front of him every time, even for the Honda Civic. And the reason is because he wants to know that is the first time it's used. It wasn't used on someone's rims. It wasn't used on someone to clean up baby vomit or like God knows what. He's like, he's told us. He's like, I'll pay extra. He's like, I don't care. This is what I want. And we're like, okay. So we make sure we have a brand new pack ready to open up for him every time he comes in. Done deal. No problem. We're going to reuse them anyways. But it's a good point. You got to know your customer, what their expectations are, profile them, and what is going to appeal to them.
Yeah, but let's see. Charles and Blake, they don't understand what you just said. They don't know what profiling is, and they actually think that you said something wrong, and you're a racist.
I'm a racist. Yeah. Jesus Christ. You gotta profile people, because I tell you this, your customer's gonna profile the shit out of you. That's facts. And so, like, first off, the way that they're dressed, customer's gonna profile them, 100%. Why do you know their names? Did they put that in the ad? I can't remember what the text said. Yeah, why would they put that in the name? No one gives a fuck who you are, because they don't know you at this point. It's a waste of words.
Which one do you think is the one smiling, Charles or Blake?
Oh, shit, that's a good question.
I think it's
I have a feeling it's Blake. I don't know, something about the name and I don't know. I have a feeling it's Blake.
So Charles and Blake, they're not too happy with you right now, Shawn. You profiled them. They don't understand profiling. So let's move on.
Yes. Listen, this advice is going to help change their business. If they don't like it, I'm not here to be, your mother. Like, so take it.
But I say that jokingly. I know listeners that don't understand things here.
Fair.
And they skew. And they don't really quite understand. And profiling is a very key thing to do. I didn't want to skip over it. I actually wanted to make it a speed bump so that you can talk about profiling. I mean, profiling is massive. It goes into why you don't say all over Tulsa. You want to be into a specific, let's just say South Tulsa, okay? Just say, 100%. I want to market, I want to spend my money. If now is spending money is vital as possible, I want to spend it into somebody that I know that it's a much better place to go spend. So I do need to profile them with, 100%. Okay, these people have money. What does somebody with money want? What does somebody with money not want? That is profiling.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? There have been companies, well, a lot of companies that have been purchased just for the data. People don't even care about the actual product or service they're selling. Don't care about any of that. I just want the data. Excuse me. They have to purchase the whole company to get the data, but ultimately they just want the profiles. That's what they want. It's true of most tech companies. They get purchased because, a lot of people are liking this service. We want to know who likes it. We want to have the information about their data. It's the reason why so many companies are under fire right now, like including Facebook right now. It's about data privacy. And so like, they're always listening to me. They're always trying to. Why do you think that is? It's because they understand how important that is, because they can make all of those decisions to better place their ads, to better place their products, so they can sell to the right market. That's why it's so important.
So that's the nerd answer. I think the street answer is, the same as TSA looks at people, and we can all go,
to assess who's a threat and who's not, Yeah.
I'm not a TSA officer. I'm just somebody that goes through the line. So don't judge me. I hear everybody else in line. I watch people post on social media. Okay? Don't judge me, but we would say that is what so many people would call profiling. And so when we hear profiling, we think of it as a negative term.
Yeah,
It's a negative connotation. Is very viable in business, whether you can geek out as far as Shawn or not, and just look at somebody and go, hey, that person has something or they don't have something. Now, that fake the has, okay, I'm not going there. Just to go, hey, that person at least has the appearance, and the people that do not appear to have. It's very key here, very basic. Don't get blurred in the gray. Very basic. People that appear to have, people that do not appear. That is profiling in this context.
Yeah.
The same as a TSA type profiling, right? Like,
so
you know, somebody that has, to your point about way they're dressed, looks at them.
Yeah.
Where do they immediately profile?
Oh man, there's so much.
Exactly. They go, oh man. Like,
instantly, I'm like, the one big thing stand out for me is that guy with his leg up. Like he's just way too comfortable. There's something about that stance, that position, that's just like kind of sleazeball. He's not taking life seriously or something. I don't know. Like he's just like way too chill, way too casual. He's the guy that'll like forget to clean my cup holders and be like, it's not a big deal, bro. You know, like that's the opinion I get. But for me, it's so much like the image. I feel almost bad for them because they had such a massive opportunity that like a lot of people in business before didn't have. You know, before the rise of social media and the internet and everything that it is that we have today, we didn't have those opportunities. Had we had those opportunities, we likely would have made, hopefully, better decisions with that opportunity. But because this is so commonplace now, people are just like, oh yeah, whatever. And because we've seen so many silly things take off, people underestimate the power of the advertising. Where we see, you know, like the rise of like ASMR, where people are, you know, making bank just by, you know, videos where they make sounds, clicking things and stuff like that. We're like, oh, anything works, wild, anything right? goes. Yeah. It is wild, but it's like, no, like
it's kind of over, but it was wild from the moment.
Yeah, but it was for a while. It was like, but I look at things like this, and it's just all I see is lack of effort and lack of planning. And I
see detailers that are in every other Facebook group with what we said earlier. Hey, I'm doing Facebook ads, but it ain't working. What are you guys doing? Ding.
Yeah. And it's like, first off, just that thought alone, whatever someone else did, it's already been done. It's already been seen. So even if it was working on a massive scale, the customer's now immune to it most likely. So you got to start thinking outside the box. That's how your brain should be working. But number two is that what worked for them in their area. Like, look, I don't know much about Tulsa. I wouldn't have known that East Tulsa or North Tulsa, I wouldn't have known that there was a big difference there, right? But the advantage someone has if they're familiar with the area is the fact that they're familiar with the area. And if they're not, the other advantage they have is that AI is familiar with the area. So you could go and ask Luna and OrbisX, hey, I'm about to run some ads. I just moved to this state. I'm not familiar with Oklahoma. Help me out. This is the kind of customer I want. Yes, help me profile them, you know, and build me a profile. Because profile can be negative, but it can also be positive. Like, I look at my business partner, Nick. He had an arranged marriage. And I know there's a lot of cultures that look at that and say, geez, an arranged marriage, that's crazy. And even my own, like, I didn't do an arranged marriage. You know, my wife and I, our families didn't know each other at all. But for me, I profiled my wife. She profiled me as a husband. And I look at, you know, my business partner, Nick, and they were arranged marriage, but it wasn't just like, oh, you're going to marry this person because we like the family.
No, it was profiled by the parents.
It was profiled by parents, exactly. Yeah. And it was to make sure that they have the greatest chance of success.
Greatest chance, yeah.
Exactly.
It's wild, isn't it? But it makes sense at the same time.
It is. Yeah. And to be honest, most cultures throughout history followed that model. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that broke away, that were like, no, freedom of choice. Western. I want to choose.
Western.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like something was working for thousands and thousands of years. And then all of a sudden we're like, no, we got the recipe. We got it from here. You know, like, thanks, but we got it. And I'm not saying it's not working. I'm just saying that profiling is something that exists and it's been around for a long time. You can use profiling for negative things, for sure, but you can also use it for positive things, because profiling your customer doesn't mean that your intentions are bad or something like that. It's more, in reality, you're actually doing your customer a favor. If you genuinely have a good service to offer and you're an artist and you're going to do great work, well, then wouldn't that be to the best interest of the right customer to present your ad in front of them in the right way so they make the right choice and you save them from going to the wrong person? So you're actually doing them a favor by profiling them. You know, it's not in a negative way. So I'm pro profiling.
You're pro profile, yeah. I think I see this and I go, I don't think they even had a chance to profile. I think they.
I don't think they did at all. They just slapped it together. Yeah.
See, maybe the answer, if we went to their website, we would see if the website is run by somebody. We would see if they are just paying a marketing company to do marketing for them, and not doing the deep, dark work that it really takes, like you talked about. You know, you've got to do the work in order to understand profiling. You know, but if you just 100%. Pay a marketing company, and then you get mobile detailing all over Tulsa with, oh, yeah, that picture's great. Look at you. You guys look so cute. Like, you know, like, oh, you stand there with your polisher. Wonderful.
It's so true.
Right?
And you got to think, too.
But if you did the work, you would have never done that, right? Like,
100%.
Okay, let's get to this one. Let's get to the next one.
All right, what do we got here? Let's see this one.
Well, same fit. So, no, it's just the next point.
Oh, okay, next point.
They introduced themselves, which is why I said their name earlier. And then
I can't even believe they did that, but yeah.
And we detail and ceramic coat cars all over Tulsa area. And ceramic coat. Okay, we're done with the all over.
All right.
Details starting at $65. Hook!
Yeah.
What a great hook!
Yeah.
Hook 'em! Hook 'em horns!
Yeah.
$65 for a detail. Charles and Blake, as somebody living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and started their business in Tulsa, Oklahoma, happy to talk about knowing that you need to have an extreme value. You do. I never used the word detail and starting at $65. I told people what they got. You're going to get a wash and a vac for $25. I've never understood why we need to loosely use the word detail and we're too afraid to say package, service, options. I want to say, and this is where it gets personal to me, right? This is where I go. Stop using the slang term detail, you motherfuckers. You ain't detailers. Look at you. So stop using the word. I looked better than you, and I didn't even say detail. I said wash and vac, and then I would use mini detail, express detail. When it came to a detail, I knew what it meant to detail. So I never talk like this, right? Never.
It's true.
And if you're going to be in my backyard in these times, throwing those slang words around, hey, cool. Then let's check and see if it's working. Let's check. Message us for menu.
Oh.
Shawn?
First off, one thing I gotta fucking say right... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Okay, I'm excited. One thing I gotta say is, guys, if you have an ad, it's your opportunity to tell someone to do something. This is the result you're going to get, and this is what you need to do to get it. That's the process, okay? Telling someone, go see our menu, message us for menu. You just introduced numerous friction points. So I have to message you to get a menu, and then I now have to go review your menu to figure out what I want, try and understand however you've put it together, and then I've got to, message you again and then say, yeah, I think I'm interested in this. This whole process, like, you've lost me. You lost me.
I really think it's a marketing team doing this. I think
It's
they paid
gotta
somebody.
be. It's
Because
gotta
then
be.
you go through the comments,
Oh, Jesus.
and not only are some of them months, and I mean months. Here's 7 weeks old.
Jesus. Jesus.
To
The
one
same
that's
ad
12
running for that
hours
long?
old. Right? This
Jeez.
one's 12 hours. This one's 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Well, this is a really important. This is actually more important than I think people realize. What are some of the comments saying?
Oh, menu please. I mean, 99% are menu please, but then there's an actual, can I get a quote for a Tacoma? Hey, I've got a 96 Bronco. I got a 21 Ram. Hey, I'm in Bixby. I need a quote on a Honda Civic. That's
Okay, so
the customer you want. Bixby's in South Tulsa.
There we go.
Right?
Perfect.
Bingo.
So,
what
first off-
do you think is there? Not a goddamn thing. So they've never even gone in to the comments.
No replies.
They only were doing what the marketing company send message me on here, and never even going in the money they spent, and never even going in and talking to the people.
Jesus. First off, huge red flag. Second off, I gotta say this because if anyone is doing ads similar to this, or you're doing ads different, but you're getting these kind of comments, the minute you see someone asking those questions, how much for a Ram, how much for a Civic, how much for this and that, if you see 2 or 3 messages that mention a model, you need to change your ads so it says all makes and models, or specifies something for the makes and models, because that's telling me right there when I hear that is that customers are wondering what is it for my car. I see you said $65. What is it for my car? So now you're going to spend half your time answering those kind of questions, and it's just further delaying the sales cycle. Meanwhile, that person, while they're waiting for a reply, you're just opening the door that somebody else that actually knows what the fuck they're doing is going to reach out to that customer and take them away from you forever. That's the reality, is the permanency. I don't think people understand is that when you have a business that's running properly and you're dealing with customers properly, you can hang on to that customer for years. For years. We have a massive database of customers at AutoWorld that are still our original customers from when we launched, day one. They haven't gone to another detailer. They haven't looked for another PPF tech. Nothing. They've stayed with us because of our consistency and our customer service and the way that we deliver results. If someone comes and scoops up that potential lead, they could be gone forever. And you got to let that sink in. But it also means you could grab that customer and have them forever. There's 2 ways to look at this. So when you see those comments, number 1, reply to the comments. Holy shit. Like, even in the OrbisX group, I get people asking me, they're like, how the fuck do you make time to reach out to all these? I make time. That's how. It's important to me. Because for me...
Is that time suddenly or slowly or whatever we want to say? Is that dwindling? And, that 3-hour comment earlier, you quickly were like, hell no.
Hell no. But here's the thing. It's all in how it's dealt with. So you hire more people, you find better processes for different things. Absolutely. There's ways of handling it. But reality is, me, I'm in the more in OrbisX side. I'm in more the post-service, the post-sale kind of thing. So someone buys it, their initial, purchase, it's the ongoing. That's what they're really buying. They're not buying so much, I have the software. It's there's a team that's going to answer my questions. They're going to help me if I need updates or whatever it is. I'm going to, maybe different ballgame. No, I'd say it's the same. Even in detailing, it's the same thing. 100%. You know what? Fuck, business is the same all around. It really is. I just came full circle, but it truly is. When you're running these ads, what was the point of putting out those ads, asking people to message you? You're the one that asked them, and then they message, and then you don't reply.
Well, they commented. They didn't message.
Oh, they commented. Okay, well.
They didn't follow the specific instructions, Shawn.
Yeah, fair. But what do you expect from customers to Jesus Christ? First off,
young kids.
Right.
I think there's some empathy here too. I think there's some empathy. This weekend we were in the metropolis of Duncan, Oklahoma.
All right.
And after the soccer game, we found the country club of Duncan, Oklahoma had a little bar and grill, right? It's perfect. Sit down.
Okay.
Are you looking up Duncan, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I saw your screen change. I was like, you're looking up Duncan, Oklahoma. Yeah, it was about 3 hours away.
Oh,
and there's
shit.
this
Yeah,
little
okay.
country club that we had our lunch at, and it was wonderful. It really was.
Yeah.
It was this just imagine country club in a extremely small town of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Not the same country club in Vegas, okay?
Yeah. Fair. But man, that's amazing. So okay, so what was?
But we're sitting there. Yeah, I'll get to the story. We're sitting there,
All right.
and the entire soccer team that's there, that's playing. It's not every kid, but just everybody that's there. Parents are on one side. The kids, parents, we can judge and we can do whatever we want. I just looked and go, you ain't changing it. You're not changing what those kids are going to be doing. They are never going to put their phone down. They will live in a world where they will ambiguously pay attention and not pay attention. They will ambiguously pay attention to somebody talking while they're watching the video, and then they will do this, and they will, right? They're different. So I can look at these kids here in their 20s and go, hey, man, I get it. You all ain't changing. You think one way. Well, I'm not the old man trying to go, I got to change the way you think, you idiot. No, not at all. I understand. Yeah. I totally get it. You think differently than I do, than the other generations. Okay, but listen to some key points about business. Listen to some key things that we have talked about, and then you're going to have to navigate, right? Like, we can't give you the answers. You didn't pay us. So you're going to have to navigate using what we talked about.
Like all the answers are there.
Yeah.
You just have to put in the work. You really just have to, and I do really want to emphasize that point that we talked about earlier, that everything tracks back to profiling. It really does. Like when you're in ads, everything does, because you gotta, like if I'm selling tennis balls, but I'm marketing to football players, is that going to be very effective? Maybe there's like one or two guys that play tennis as well as play football, but if I'm marketing to tennis, you know what? Good case in point actually is I always love this story with like Rolls Royce, Bentley, like a bunch of them. They used to advertise in car shows because it makes sense. They're car shows, right? But they started to realize after time that a lot of the demographic that was there, they liked cars, they enjoyed looking at the cars, but they weren't the right customers that were buying the cars. So they started advertising instead at aviation shows, because some guy that just got off looking at a Learjet, you know, and he's like, oh yeah, that's nice, you know, maybe we'll take one of these, maybe, I don't know, I got to think about it, talk with the wife, and he gets off, they're on the runway, and there's a bunch of Bentleys lined up. That becomes an impulse buy, where it's like, fuck, I was just looking at a $5 million jet. Well, there's a $250,000 car here. That's nothing. It's like buying a watch, buying lunch. It's nothing. So they started advertising in a different place, but they didn't get there by accident. It wasn't just like, oh shit, maybe we should go advertise at these aviation shows. They got there because they profiled the customers that they were looking for. And it's the same is true of anything. I noticed it more when it wasn't online. Like when we used to have to do ads in Yellow Pages, when we used to have to do ads in newspapers, magazines, things like that, they focused a lot more on what you've probably heard more, demographics. So demographics are generated from profiles. So they profile their audience. We have this many listeners, they're between this age, and they're this and that. That was a very common conversation when you were buying like radio ads. Oh yeah, we have this many listeners in these areas, and they're usually between this bracket and this bracket. The only difference was it was harder to get concrete profiles back then. Now it's a lot easier because people are online and we share information like it's nothing. So there's a lot more information, what you've looked at, what you click on, to the point that even the ads, they have technology now that's looking at your eye. It's looking at the iris, and it's seeing how your pupils are moving, everything. They know where you're focusing on at certain times from the phones. They can determine, oh, users look at this section of the phone more, or this section of the ads and stuff like that. They're profiling you. It's what they're doing. Part of it, though, is to deliver more ads. The other part's to deliver a better experience. So there's a bad part to it, but there's also a good part. And you have to get the idea of it being a negative out of the question and realize that profiling your customer is actually just finding more of the right customer and delivering the service you want to deliver to the right customer that's the right customer for you, but it's also the right service for that particular customer. And whether there's some guys that are caking it just selling $65 details. There are. They're doing a shit ton of volume. They have a lot of upsells.
Call them details, Shawn.
Sorry, yeah, they're not artisans. Sorry, it makes me think of Subway every time I think about like artisan. It's like, or was that a Half Baked where he's like he was a janitor, but he's like or I'm a custodial technician, and he's like or a janitor if you're a dick, you know.
I was a maintenance specialist, is what I was.
Yeah, maintenance specialist, exactly. Exactly. So it's one of those things, but yeah, I do think that
No,
profiling.
I wouldn't even say that. I wasn't a maintenance specialist. I was a convenience specialist. My slogan was, "We wash while you work."
Love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
First off, if you just took that one phrase that you just said and compare that to Charles and Blake detailing all over Tulsa, Oklahoma, just compare those two things. It's night and day.
Did you butcher our name, Shawn? Am I about to fly up there and open up a can of R.D. Mercer on you?
What did I say? Oh no, what did I say?
Tesla or something?
Tulsa. Tulsa.
Tulsa.
I was Tesla and Tulsa got mixed in my brain.
That's why I just had to come
Yeah,
at
yeah.
you.
Oh, appreciate
If
you.
people understand the R.D. Mercer tie-in, hey, I'm there. I love that.
Hey, I'm the...
I might throw in a little bonus to whoever can claim what they know about R.D. Mercer. On to, have we had anybody talk about and anybody start to, we've got a challenge out there. There's a challenge on the board.
So far?
Challenge on the board.
I know. There were some people that posted, that they commented after, and then crickets. I was like, fuck, man, people don't want to win free shit, man. The economy must be really good.
It must
If people
be.
don't want to win free shit, it must be really good.
Real damn good.
Yeah.
Listen, not knowing what I'm going to throw on for that R.D. Mercer right there. Open up a can right there, I'll tell you what.
Holy shit. Okay. Here we go.
Shawn, just how big a boy are you?
Just how what?
How big a boy are you?
How big a boy am I? Can't give it all away. But no, there hasn't been
That's
much.
a joke. So R.D. Mercer would prank call people. And a big deal is he would ask them, how big a boy are you? And they'd be like, well, I'm like 250. I'm 6'4". He'd be like, well, that's nothing but a light snack. I have to come down and open up a can of whoop ass. Yeah,
So,
he was great. I'll bring a sack lunch because I'm going to be there all day.
Yeah.
This is great. Oklahoma at its finest.
Have you ever seen the TV show Psych? I don't know if you've ever seen that. Oh, man, good show.
No, this was old school radio, man.
No.
This was radio prank calling.
No. Hear me out. So, Psych, this TV show, there's a dad who was a cop. His son was supposed to become a cop, so his dad was, like, every chance he got when he was a kid, teaching him, like, to be very observant or to this and that. So later in life, he uses that to his advantage, and he's looking for a purpose in life, and he becomes a psychic, quote-unquote, for the local police station. But he's not a real psychic. So, anyway, he's just very observant. He's working on a case one time, and they have a rendition of R.D. Mercer on the episode. Someone had tried to blow him up over one of the pranks or something. And so, but he was like, oh man, I used to listen to this guy when I was a kid or whatever, and da-da-da. So anyway, he goes on the case to solve the thing, but it ended up being like some crazy fan or something. But yeah, that was his whole thing. He would like play pranks and stuff. But yeah, that was back, like, obviously radio days. But it's weird to think radio days are done. Like, they're done and they're not done.
Oh, they're done. No, they're done. I get it off of radio as fast as possible.
Yeah, I agree they're done, but depending on the scale. Excuse me. So some people, if they're doing, you still make money with radio in some avenues, just not not as an advertiser. I would say those days are done. But there are opportunities in radio, but it is definitely a dying thing, you know. But yeah, I think don't run radio ads. Don't. But on that note, if you're gonna do Facebook ads, also don't do them like Charles and Blake. Like, you know, hats off to them for trying. That is an important step. And learning from
That's not a try, man. No, I can't give them that.
Okay, that's fair.
Look at the results. Look at they didn't talk to anybody.
You're right. They didn't really try.
They're wasting their money.
Yeah.
So when we've talked about this cycle, this evolution, this journey, here's a moment of we're crossing a river, right? Yeah. This is that moment, and no, man, they're going to get it gobbled up by this marketing company, or by Zuck or somebody. I mean, there's no way. Right?
Yeah, you know, I feel bad sometimes when I see and I see it often, posts where someone says like, "Hey, anybody know a good ads company that gets results?" Or "Who's a good ads company? Who's running ads companies for this and that? Like, who's in charge?" Oh my God, it breaks my heart because I just know I'm like, oh, there goes another $2,000. Oh, there goes another $3,000. It's just money.
So the guerrilla marketing is what it's called, of more of what you talk about, of what you guys do. That like face to face something. Yeah. You know, if Blake called me and said, "No, I'm the guy smiling, not the other guy," I'd be like, "Cool, Blake. Hey man, let's figure out something else, because this ain't working.
This ain't it.
This ain't it. You know, like
you know what it is. Digital ads are great as well. But I personally feel digital ads are great if you have a good strategy behind it, in terms of we're going to try 5 different ads, but we're actually going to plan them, just like how big companies, they sit down in a boardroom, they plan it out, they hash out ideas, they see what sticks, they have focus groups, which they test them on, and so they do a certain series of steps to make sure it works. Now in your case, running a local detailer ad through like a focus group might not make sense, but you have multiple AIs at your disposal, and so they can serve as a focus group because each of them thinks independently. So take your ad, throw it into Gemini, throw it into Perplexity, throw it into Claude, throw it into ChatGPT, throw it into Luna. What do you think of my ad? You're going to get different feedback from each of them. Then you take that information, you start to disseminate it, and you say, okay, here's what I need to change, tweak, whatever. Then you run the ad for a short period of time. You said some of those comments were like 12 weeks old. That's too long, okay? That ad should have already been taken down, a new one put up, because you should be learning something from each of them. Then you should also go look around at some ads that pique your interest, okay? Take those ads, be like, wow, that really caught my attention. Ask people you know. Ask your wife, your girlfriend, your brother, your whatever. Ask them, when you see an ad that speaks to you, do me a favor, for the next 2 weeks, just pay attention to advertising. Whatever speaks to you, send it to me. Collect this information. Plug it into Luna. Be like, yo, just found a bunch of ads. This is what customers are saying speaks to them. How can I use these same kind of principles to make the perfect ad for my detailing business? What should I focus on? Now you have a baseline. Then you run that, but you don't run it by itself. If you have $500 to spend, you don't put $500 into one ad. You put $100 into 5 ads. And you run those independently, and you see which one generates the most results. Then, from there, now you go and you start running ads with whatever the winner was, and then you improve it from there. And that's the secret. That's the formula, and it all has to do with you profiling and AI and platforms like Facebook. Because if you don't think Facebook is profiling, you're crazy. They're profiling like crazy because they want to use up your ad spend as fast as possible. They want to get you good results, but they want to use it up as fast as possible.
Well, I was going to say they're profiling you. That you're a sucker.
Yeah. Fair. Actually,
hey, Charles keeps spending that money. Let's go.
Yeah, and Charles will, unfortunately, and hopefully maybe he catches wind of this and he does things differently. But I'm a big fan of guerrilla marketing for a bunch of reasons. One, oftentimes it doesn't cost you in the same way that online ads do, where it's more your time and energy oftentimes, and maybe some driving around, stuff like that. But oftentimes it's cheaper. But the biggest thing is that you're directly involved. A lot of times people set up Facebook ads or Instagram or whatever it is. It's a set it and forget it. I posted it online, checked it off my box. Now I can go to sleep, and Facebook's going to grow my business for me. If you're involved in the day-to-day, you get more experience where you're seeing what works and what doesn't work. You're seeing what sales pitches work and what don't work. You're hearing feedback from customers, from partners, from referrals, whatever it is. And you're getting that real-world experience, and then you can apply that to your ads. And like that's why our ads work really well. Sometimes, no joke, at our shop, if we're thinking of running some ads, we'll have 2 or 3 of them. We'll print them out. When customers are at their appointments, we'll legit show them. We'll be like, hey, listen, we're trying to run some ads right now, and your feedback would be very much appreciated. I know you're going to leave us a 5-star review, and that's appreciated, but in lieu of that, give me your feedback on these 2 ads. And we'll just show them. And we'll be like, what draws your eye in? What's your feedback? Whatever, da-da-da-da. Customers are willing to help us. We show them ads often that we're going to run because we want more of those clients. If it's a client that's a pain in the ass, we're not showing them shit. But the good clients, the ones that are in the good neighborhoods, because as you always say, if you collect certain clients and you see flies, it's likely shit, So we focus on.
Was a pile of shit.
It's a pile of shit.
The exact term.
Yeah. There's the exact term spelled out. Yeah, it really is that though, and you got to think, the client you have in the shop, someone that said yes to you, first off, find out why they say yes, and you should be profiling them within OrbisX. So you should be profiling a bunch of things. Like, Jesus, man, you can tag them in OrbisX. You can make custom tags. You can be like, oh, they have 2 dogs. Oh, they have a daughter. Oh, they have a minivan. Find out other things, their likes and dislikes. You could tag them as that. They have a hobby in tennis or whatever it is. But then you can also be like, how did you find us? Oh, we found you on Facebook. Oh, well, what did the ad say? What spoke to you when I saw the? Oh, well, I saw the ad, and actually it was the image. The image really was like whatever. You'll find out stuff, or it was the headline, or maybe it was you said you have this package, or maybe it was you'll find out stuff. I don't know what the particulars.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
They got to just go do the homework, right? They just got to go
do the homework, put in the work, but document it. Put it on each of the profiles in OrbisX, and then what you can do is run a report under the Reports tab. You can click on tags, for example, and it'll show you, highlight, boom, 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 boom. You have this many tags as this many tags as that. It'll show you those numbers, and you can say, like, holy shit. You can start to see the patterns and the commonalities. Click on your report card, for crying out loud. I don't know why people don't use this more. It tells you specifically percentage that is male or female, what your average year, make, and model, what the oldest, what the newest is, what their most common brands are, this and that. It profiles your customers for you. So you don't have to do the dirty work. You don't have to be the bad guy. But you can still benefit from the results that are there. You can go click into that, and you can be like, oh, wow, here's my report card. Holy shit. Did you know our average vehicle that we see is a 2024 right now? Perfect. So maybe you need to target people that are buying cars that are 2 years older. Maybe you need to target people that are looking to preserve that vehicle for the next 3-4 years. Those are the kinds of insights that you get. And that's all just included with OrbisX. We don't charge you more for it. There's no paywalls. You don't have to go behind it. I don't make you shuck and jive. It's there for you to use. It's there. Just use it. But you got to put the work in. So the end of the story is, don't be Blake and Charles. Be Blake and Charles 2.0. Because I still think there's hope for them yet.
When the booking 2.0 comes out, hell yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah. And we have so much more coming than that. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Oh, my God. And just think, we're going to be profiling your customers on your behalf as well, but for good intentions, because we're going to be marketing to them. The ones that didn't book a ceramic coating, we're going to pitch them a ceramic coating for you, have the customer purchase it, shipped right from HyperClean right to your door to install in the customer's vehicle. You get paid, everybody wins, customers happy, they get the results they want, all from profiling. So profile away, guys. That's all you got to do. So anyway, that's the moral of the story. So thank you, Blake and Charles, for giving us something to work with here today to discuss. I was going to say some ammunition, but I didn't want to. I feel bad. They did their thing.
We said what not to do, right?
What not to do. Exactly. That's what it is. We'll tell you what not to do. You have to go do the work to figure out what to do. That's ultimately what it is.
And they put it on social. They marketed. That's fair game.
Yeah, that's it. It's out there. If we're criticizing it like that, just think what customers are doing. Because customers are profiling you, 100%. Like it's the reality of things. So appreciate you as always, man. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Check out Pints Polish Podcast coming out this week. Let's go and check out. I'm sure there's some exciting news coming from HyperClean as well. But stay tuned.
Loose.
Let's do it. Sounds good, man. We'll see you. All right, cheers.